My friends, when a breakup happens, the first instinct is often to react. The emotions come in waves: anger, sadness, frustration, disbelief. It is natural to want to express these feelings, to demand answers, to make sense of what just happened. But here is where the mistake lies. Reacting impulsively is exactly what weakens you. It gives away your power and puts control in the hands of someone who no longer values you in the way you wish they did. The true test in these moments is not how much you fight back, but how well you can resist the urge to react at all. There is immense power in silence. The moment you refuse to engage, the moment you do not show visible pain, you reclaim control. This does not mean you do not feel it. It does not mean you are unaffected. It means you understand that showing emotions to the wrong person only weakens your position. A breakup often comes with an expectation. The other person assumes you will beg, you will ask questions, you will fall apart. They may even be prepared for this, expecting tears, long messages, or some kind of reaction that reassures them that they mattered to you. But the most unsettling thing you can do is the opposite of what they expect: silence, calm, and composure. The reason people struggle to control their reactions is because of emotional attachment. It is difficult to detach from someone who once played an important role in your life. Your mind fights against the reality of separation, and your emotions seek an outlet. The key here is to recognize that emotions, while intense, are temporary. They are waves that will crash against you, but if you let them pass without acting on them, they lose their power over you. Every strong emotion you feel after a breakup is an opportunity to exercise control. Every time you resist the urge to text, to argue, to explain yourself, you strengthen your discipline. When you act out of impulse, you often regret it later. Think about moments when you have said things in anger, sent messages you later wished you had not, or made decisions driven purely by emotion rather than reason. Reacting in such a way does not heal you, it prolongs your suffering. Instead of finding closure, you reopen wounds. Instead of moving forward, you remain stuck in a loop of overthinking and regret. This is why self-control is crucial. It is not just about appearing strong to the outside world. It is about building real internal strength that prevents you from being controlled by your own emotions. People respect what they cannot control. When you react emotionally, you become predictable, easy to manipulate. But when you remain still, when you refuse to engage in drama or emotional outbursts, you become someone they cannot read. This is unsettling to them. It forces them to reflect because they do not get the validation of knowing how much you are affected. They wonder why you are not responding the way they expected. They question if you ever needed them as much as they thought. And most importantly, they begin to feel the absence of your energy. Controlling your reaction does not mean suppressing your emotions. It means processing them in a way that serves you, rather than destroys you. There is a difference between feeling something and letting it dictate your actions. You can feel pain without showcasing it to the world. You can grieve the loss of a relationship without making a spectacle of it. The strongest people are not the ones who feel nothing, they are the ones who master their emotions instead of being mastered by them. The ability to remain calm under emotional stress is one of the greatest strengths a person can develop. It translates to every aspect of life, not just breakups. In conflict, in disappointment, in moments of uncertainty, the person who maintains control always has the upper hand. They are the ones who dictate the course of their own lives rather than being thrown around by circumstances. Imagine two people experiencing the same heartbreak. One person reacts immediately, sending messages, trying to explain, desperately looking for ways to fix things. The other remains composed, says little, and focuses on themselves. Who appears stronger? Who is more likely to be respected, missed, or reconsidered? It is not easy to do this. It requires patience, discipline, and a deep understanding of yourself. But the moment you stop reacting emotionally, you will feel a shift. You will realize that you do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to beg for love, for attention, or for closure. The person who walked away has made their choice. Your power lies in how you respond to that choice. By not reacting, you send a message louder than words ever could. That you are not dependent on them. That your worth does not decrease because of their absence. And that you are not someone who can be easily shaken. When you resist the urge to react, You force the other person to confront their own decisions. If they left thinking you would be lost without them, and instead they see you thriving, they are left questioning themselves. The regret comes not because you forced it upon them, but because they begin to realize they misjudged you. And even if they do not regret it, even if they never look back, you still win because you did not allow their actions to dictate your emotions. You remained in control, and that is a victory in itself. Many people believe that reacting shows strength, that fighting for love, demanding explanations, or proving a point will somehow change the outcome. But real strength is in restraint. It is in choosing yourself over a temporary moment of validation. Every time you hold back from reacting, you are investing in your future self, the version of you who will look back at this moment and be proud of the way you handled it. Controlling your reaction is not about pretending not to care. It is about realizing that your peace is more valuable than any emotional outburst. It is about choosing growth over desperation. It is about understanding that the best way to make someone regret losing you is not by arguing or proving a point, but by becoming so unshakable, so focused, and so at peace that they are left wondering why they ever thought you needed them in the first place. So the next time you feel the urge to react, to send a message, to prove a point, to lash out in anger, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, does this serve me? Will this reaction bring me peace, or will it only prolong my pain? The answer will always be clear, and in that moment when you choose not to react, you reclaim your power. You show yourself that you are stronger than your emotions. You prove, not to them, but to yourself, that you are in control of your own life. When a breakup happens, the instinct to chase or beg can be overwhelming. It feels like the only way to hold on to what once was. The thought of losing someone who was once so deeply ingrained in your life creates an emotional panic, making you believe that if you just say the right thing, do the right thing, or show them how much they mean to you, they will change their mind. But the truth is, chasing and begging only serve to diminish your worth, lower your self-respect, and push the other person further away. Begging for someone to stay is not love, it is fear. It is the fear of being alone, the fear of the unknown, the fear of accepting that what you had is no longer the same. But love should never come from a place of desperation. True connection is built on mutual respect, not on pleading or convincing someone to be with you. The moment you chase after someone who has chosen to leave, you tell them that your value is dependent on their validation. You place yourself in a position of weakness, allowing their actions to dictate your emotions. When someone walks away, they are making a statement. Whether it was sudden or a slow decline, they have made a decision to remove themselves from your life. Chasing them does not change that decision, it only confirms to them that they have the upper hand. It reassures them that they were right in thinking you needed them more than they needed you. It gives them power over you, allowing them to dictate the terms of your emotional state. The more you chase, the more they pull away. It becomes a cycle where the more desperate you appear, the less attractive you become. There is nothing dignified about trying to convince someone of your worth. If they could not see it when they had you, they will not see it when you are on your knees begging them to reconsider. People do not value what is easily available. They do not chase what is constantly chasing them. The irony of love and attraction is that the moment you step back, the moment you stop seeking validation from them, is often the moment they begin to notice your absence. But even if they do not, that should not be your concern. Your self-worth should never be tied to another person's recognition of it. Chasing someone after a breakup is an emotional reaction, not a logical one. It comes from a place of panic rather than reason. The pain of separation tricks your mind into believing that if you just try harder, you can restore what has been lost. But relationships do not work that way. The foundation of love is not built on persuasion. If someone has decided to leave, then your role is not to convince them otherwise, but to respect yourself enough to let them go. Walking away from someone who no longer wants to be with you is one of the greatest acts of self-respect. It is a declaration that you value yourself enough not to beg for love, not to seek affection where it is no longer given freely. The right person will not require you to prove your worth. They will not need to be chased. Love is not meant to be forced. It is meant to be reciprocated. When you chase, you create a dynamic where you place yourself beneath the other person, giving them the power to decide your happiness. But when you walk away, you take back control. You set the standard for how you deserve to be treated. It is easy to believe that chasing someone shows how much you care, that by proving your dedication, they will realize their mistake and come back. But love does not work through pressure or persuasion. If someone truly values you, they will not need to be convinced. And if they do not see your worth, no amount of chasing will make them realize it. The only thing that comes from chasing is self-inflicted pain, prolonging the heartbreak, and delaying the healing process. Letting go is not about giving up, it is about understanding that your dignity is worth more than temporary comfort. It is about recognizing that if someone cannot appreciate your presence, they should experience your absence. When you stop chasing, you shift the power dynamic. You move from a place of desperation to a place of strength. The person who leaves expects you to crumble, to reach out, to try and pull them back. When you do not, it unsettles them. It forces them to question whether they made the right decision. But more importantly, it allows you to heal. Chasing someone keeps you stuck in the past, constantly reliving memories, analyzing moments, and wondering what went wrong. It prevents you from moving forward, from growing, from becoming the person you are meant to be. The longer you chase, the longer you suffer. The moment you stop, you free yourself from the chains of attachment. You give yourself the space to reflect, to rebuild, to rediscover who you are outside of that relationship. One of the greatest realizations you will have is that no one completes you. You are already whole. A relationship is meant to complement your life, not define it. When you beg for someone to stay, you are telling yourself that you are not enough on your own, that you need their presence to feel valuable. But this is a lie. Your worth is not dependent on another person's choice to stay or leave. It exists regardless of their opinion of you. When you refuse to chase, you send a message not just to them, but to yourself. You reinforce the belief that you are enough, that you do not need to convince someone to love you, that you are worthy of a love that chooses you freely, without hesitation or conditions. Walking away is not weakness. It is strength. It is the quiet confidence of knowing that you will be okay, not because they might come back, but because you trust yourself to heal, to grow, to thrive. There is freedom in letting go. The moment you stop chasing, you release yourself from the burden of trying to control something that is not meant to be controlled. You stop living in the past and start focusing on the future. And in doing so, you become a person who does not need to beg for love, because you have already found it within yourself. Pain is one of the most powerful forces a person can experience. It has the ability to break you down, to leave you lost and directionless, to make you question everything you once believed in. But pain is also the greatest catalyst for transformation. It has the potential to shape you, to fuel you, to push you toward becoming a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of yourself. The key lies not in avoiding pain, but in learning how to use it. After a breakup, the emotional turmoil can feel overwhelming. The loss, the betrayal, the sudden void where once there was comfort, it all crashes down like a storm. But within that storm lies an opportunity. Every ounce of suffering can be converted into energy, into motivation, into something that pushes you forward instead of holding you back. Pain exposes your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities, and the illusions you once held. It forces you to confront the truth, whether you are ready or not. When everything feels like it is falling apart, that is when you discover who you truly are. It is in the moments of suffering that your character is revealed. You can choose to let pain consume you, to drown in self-pity, to allow it to define you. Or you can choose to harness it, to let it be the fire that drives you towards something greater. The choice is always yours. The people who rise above heartbreak are not the ones who avoid pain, but the ones who embrace it. They take the raw energy of suffering and channel it into something meaningful. They take the sleepless nights, the feelings of rejection, the anger, the regret, and they use it as fuel. They hit the gym with more intensity. They focus on their careers with greater ambition. They dive into self-improvement with relentless determination. They do not waste time dwelling on what they lost. Instead, they use that loss to build something new. Pain has a way of waking you up. When everything is going well, complacency creeps in. Comfort makes people stagnant. A relationship often provides a sense of security, and within that security, many lose their edge. They stop pushing themselves, stop striving for more, stop focusing on personal growth. A breakup shatters that comfort. It rips away the illusion of stability and forces you to confront reality. And that moment, as painful as it is also your greatest opportunity. It is the moment when you decide what happens next. You can sit in the ruins of what was, or you can start building something even better. Think about the most successful, driven, and resilient people in the world. Many of them did not get there because life was easy. They got there because they experienced pain, deep, life-altering pain that could have destroyed them. But instead of letting it break them, they let it forge them into something greater. They took their suffering and turned it into strength. They used rejection as motivation. They transformed their heartbreak into discipline. They refused to let pain define them as victims. Instead, they allowed it to shape them into warriors. Pain, when used correctly, sharpens your focus. It removes distractions, heightens your sense of purpose, and gives you a reason to push forward. After a breakup, there is a void, an emptiness that feels unbearable at times. That void can swallow you whole if you let it. But it can also be the space where something new is created. It can be the fuel that ignites an unstoppable drive within you. The energy that once went into the relationship can now be redirected into yourself. The time, the effort, the emotion, everything that you once gave to another person can now be invested in your own growth. There is a common saying that the best revenge is success, but true success is not about making someone else regret losing you. It is about proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. It is about looking back and realizing that the pain was not the end of your story, but the beginning of a new, more powerful chapter. When you stop seeing pain as something negative and start seeing it as a tool, everything changes. Instead of feeling like a victim, you feel like a creator. Instead of feeling weak, you feel unstoppable. The human mind and body respond to stress and struggle in ways that are meant to make you stronger. When you lift weights, your muscles experience microscopic tears. It is painful, but through that pain, the muscles rebuild themselves stronger than before. Emotional pain works the same way. When you experience heartbreak, you are being broken down, but only so you can rebuild yourself into someone even stronger. It is in the rebuilding process that you discover your true potential. The process of turning pain into fuel requires discipline. It requires a conscious decision to use suffering as a tool rather than a burden. It means resisting the urge to numb the pain with distractions, unhealthy habits, or temporary fixes. It means facing it head-on, feeling it fully, and then channeling it into something productive. Whether it is working harder, training your body, developing new skills, or deepening your understanding of yourself, the pain must be directed somewhere. If you do not control where your pain goes, it will control you. When you let emotions rule you, they make your decisions for you. You find yourself reacting impulsively, saying things you later regret, and acting in ways that do not align with your true self. After a breakup, this often manifests as chasing, begging, overanalyzing, or lashing out in anger. These reactions feel justified in the moment because emotions cloud your logic. But emotions are temporary, while the consequences of your actions can be long-lasting. The ability to master your emotions means stepping back, observing what you feel without immediately acting on it, and choosing your response with wisdom rather than impulse. One of the greatest strengths you can develop is emotional discipline. It is easy to let heartbreak consume you, to allow pain to dictate your days and control your thoughts. But the more you indulge in negative emotions without direction, the more you lose yourself. Mastering your emotions does not mean denying that you feel hurt. It means acknowledging your pain without letting it define you. It means recognizing sadness but not letting it paralyze you, feeling anger but not allowing it to turn into destructive behavior, and experiencing loss but refusing to let it take away your sense of self-worth. Your emotions should serve you, not control you. When you feel overwhelmed by heartbreak, ask yourself, is this emotion helping me or hurting me? If it is helping you by pushing you towards self-improvement, by making you more aware of your needs, by motivating you to be better, then use it. If it is hurting you by keeping you stuck in the past, by making you act irrationally, by leading you into self-destructive behaviors, then you must take control over it. The ability to redirect emotions toward positive outcomes is what separates those who grow from pain from those who remain trapped in it. Developing emotional mastery requires patience and self-awareness. It starts with recognizing your triggers, the things that make you feel reactive. Maybe it is seeing your ex move on, thinking about past memories, or feeling alone. When you identify these triggers, you gain power over them. Instead of immediately reacting, you pause. You ask yourself, what does this emotion want me to do? And then you decide whether or not that action aligns with your long-term growth. This level of control prevents you from making mistakes that could damage your self-respect or prolong your healing process. Another crucial aspect of mastering your emotions is learning to detach from external validation. Many people allow their emotions to be dictated by what others do. If their ex reaches out, they feel happy. If their ex ignores them, they feel miserable. This is giving away control. Your emotional state should not depend on the actions of someone else. It should come from within. When you learn to regulate your emotions independently, you become unshakable. No one can manipulate you, no situation can break you, and you remain in control of your own mental and emotional state. Self-discipline plays a major role in emotional mastery. It is easy to let emotions pull you into habits that provide temporary relief, but cause long-term damage. This could be drinking, overindulging in distractions, seeking attention from the wrong people, or venting your frustrations in unhealthy ways. These are not solutions, they are escapes. True mastery comes from facing your emotions directly, processing them in a healthy way, and choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. You cannot run from emotions forever. The more you suppress them, the stronger they become. The only way to truly master them is to confront them, understand them, and redirect them into something productive. One of the most effective ways to gain control over your emotions is through discipline and structure. Having a routine, setting goals, engaging in physical activity, and staying productive all help prevent emotions from overwhelming you. When you allow your mind to wander without purpose, emotions take over. But when you have clear direction, you remain focused on what truly matters. Physical movement is especially powerful. Exercise not only releases stress and tension but also builds resilience. It teaches you how to endure discomfort, how to push through pain, and how to strengthen your mind alongside your body. Another important factor is perspective. When emotions are high, your perspective narrows. You see things through the lens of pain, making everything seem worse than it actually is. But when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, you realize that this moment of pain is temporary. Every heartbreak, every setback, every challenge in life is part of a greater journey. The emotions you feel today will not last forever. When you understand this, you become less reactive. You stop making emotional decisions that harm your future self, and you start making choices that benefit your long-term well-being. Emotional mastery also involves learning how to use emotions as motivation rather than as obstacles. Pain can break you down, but it can also push you forward. When you take emotions like anger, sadness, or frustration and channel them into personal growth, you become unstoppable. Many of the greatest success stories in history come from people who turned their pain into power. They did not let emotions hold them back, they used them as fuel. The same principle applies to heartbreak. Instead of letting sadness drain your energy, use it to build a stronger, more disciplined version of yourself. At the core of mastering your emotions is self-respect. Every time you let emotions control you, you give away your power. But every time you choose to control your emotions, you reinforce your self-worth. When you develop this level of emotional control, you become someone who cannot be manipulated, broken, or easily shaken. You develop an inner strength that allows you to face any situation with confidence and clarity. The journey to emotional mastery is not easy. It takes time, patience, and consistent effort. But once you achieve it, you gain freedom. No longer are you at the mercy of external events. No longer do you let temporary emotions dictate your actions. You become the master of yourself, and in doing so you become unbreakable. Self-improvement is one of the most powerful ways to reclaim your strength after a breakup. When a relationship ends, there is often a deep sense of loss, not just of the other person, but of the version of yourself that existed within that relationship. It is easy to feel empty, to dwell on what was, and to let your emotions pull you into self-doubt or despair. But the best way to move forward is to shift that energy away from the past and toward becoming the best version of yourself. Instead of seeking external validation or chasing what is lost, focusing on self-improvement allows you to regain control over your life and redefine your purpose. A breakup often serves as a wake-up call. It forces you to examine your life, your choices, and your habits. It reveals where you may have settled, where you lost yourself in the relationship, and what areas of your life need growth. Instead of seeing the breakup as a loss, it can be reframed as an opportunity, a chance to rebuild yourself into someone stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled. The pain you feel can become the fuel for transformation, pushing you to develop in ways you might never have considered before. One of the first areas of self-improvement to focus on is physical health. Your body and mind are deeply connected, and taking care of your physical health directly impacts your emotional resilience. Exercise is not just about looking better, it is about feeling stronger, increasing your energy, and regaining confidence. Physical activity releases endorphins, which improve mood and help combat stress and depression. Whether it is weightlifting, running, yoga, or martial arts, engaging in physical exercise helps build discipline and self-control, which are essential for personal growth. It also serves as a productive outlet for emotional pain, allowing you to channel your frustration, sadness, or anger into something that strengthens you rather than weakens you. Mental growth is equally important. A breakup often leaves people stuck in repetitive thoughts, analyzing the past, questioning what went wrong, and fixating on things that cannot be changed. This mental loop can be destructive, keeping you in a cycle of regret and longing. Instead of wasting mental energy on what is no longer within your control, focus on expanding your mind. Reading books, learning new skills, or taking courses can shift your focus towards self-improvement. Knowledge empowers you, helping you grow intellectually and emotionally. The more you invest in yourself, the less you will feel the need to dwell on the past. Emotional intelligence is another crucial aspect of self-improvement. A breakup provides a unique opportunity to reflect on your emotional patterns and behaviors. It allows you to assess how you handle stress, conflict, attachment, and self-worth. Developing emotional intelligence means becoming aware of your triggers, understanding your emotions without letting them control you, and learning how to regulate your reactions. Practicing mindfulness, meditation, or journaling can help you gain clarity and develop a stronger sense of self-awareness. When you work on your emotional resilience, you become less dependent on external circumstances for your happiness. You cultivate an inner peace that cannot be easily shaken. Self-improvement also involves refining your goals and ambitions. When you were in a relationship, you may have compromised on certain dreams, put personal aspirations on hold, or focused too much on the relationship instead of your own growth. Now is the time to reclaim those ambitions and set new ones. Ask yourself what you truly want out of life. What are your passions? What skills do you want to develop? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years? Use this time to set clear, actionable goals that push you to grow. When you are actively working towards something meaningful, the pain of the breakup fades into the background. Another critical area of self-improvement is strengthening your self-discipline. The emotions after a breakup can make you seek comfort in temporary distractions, excessive drinking, unhealthy eating, social media stalking, or seeking validation from others. These behaviors provide momentary relief but ultimately make you feel worse. Self-discipline means choosing long-term benefits over short-term comfort. It means resisting the urge to engage in self-destructive behaviors and instead focusing on habits that contribute to your growth. The stronger your self-discipline, the more control you have over your life. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is another essential aspect of self-improvement. The people you spend time with shape your mindset and habits. After a breakup, it is important to distance yourself from negativity, whether it comes from toxic friendships, environments, or even your own thought patterns. Seek out people who inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth. Engage in communities, groups, or activities that align with your interests and values. When you immerse yourself in a positive environment, your self-improvement journey becomes much easier. Improving your social skills and confidence is also a valuable part of personal growth. A breakup can sometimes make people withdraw from social interactions or feel insecure. Instead of retreating, use this time to strengthen your ability to connect with others. Work on improving your communication skills, deepening your friendships, and expanding your social circles. Confidence comes from experience and self-assurance. The more you invest in yourself, the more naturally confident you become, making you more attractive not just to potential partners but in all areas of life. Financial growth is another key element of self-improvement. Being financially independent and responsible gives you freedom and security. Take control of your finances by setting financial goals, learning about investing, budgeting, and increasing your income. When you are financially stable, you do not rely on anyone else for your well-being. Financial independence builds confidence and allows you to focus on your future without unnecessary stress. One of the most transformative aspects of self-improvement is developing a strong sense of purpose. Many people tie their sense of purpose to their relationships, making a breakup feel like a loss of identity. But your purpose is not dependent on another person. It is something you cultivate within yourself. Find what drives you, what excites you, and what gives your life meaning. When you have a purpose beyond romantic relationships, you become more resilient, self-assured, and fulfilled. Self-improvement is not just about moving on from a breakup, it is about building a life that excites you. It is about becoming the kind of person who does not need external validation to feel complete. It is about making yourself so strong, disciplined, and fulfilled that your happiness is never dependent on another person. When you focus on growth, everything else falls into place. The pain fades, the past loses its grip on you, and you step into a new chapter of life, one where you are in control, thriving and unstoppable. Success is the ultimate response to any setback, including heartbreak. When a relationship ends, emotions run high: pain, anger, regret, and sometimes even the desire for revenge. Many people waste energy trying to make their ex feel their loss through direct confrontation, arguments, or attention-seeking behaviors. But true power comes not from trying to prove a point, but from proving yourself. The best way to show someone what they lost is not through words, desperation, or bitterness. It is through transformation. When you focus on success, you shift the narrative. You are no longer the person who is stuck in the past, replaying memories and dwelling on what went wrong. Instead, you become someone who rises above it, someone who takes the pain and turns it into fuel for growth. Success in any area of life, whether it is physical, financial, emotional, or personal, speaks louder than any attempt at revenge. It is undeniable proof that you are thriving, that you have moved forward, and that the loss was never truly yours to begin with. One of the greatest advantages of focusing on success after a breakup is that it forces you to redirect your energy. The energy that would have been spent on overthinking, reminiscing, or feeling bitter now goes into building something meaningful. When you set goals and work toward them, you stop being controlled by emotions and start being driven by ambition. The more you invest in yourself, the less you care about the past. The version of you that was heartbroken no longer exists, because you have evolved beyond them. Success is also the greatest form of self-respect. It shows that you value yourself enough to refuse to stay stuck in pain. Many people seek revenge in destructive ways, trying to make their ex jealous, spreading negativity, or engaging in self-sabotaging behaviors. But these actions do not actually prove anything. They only reveal insecurity. Real revenge is success in its purest form. It is becoming so accomplished, so self-sufficient, and so fulfilled that you no longer need validation from anyone. Breakups often leave people feeling powerless, as if something was taken from them. But the truth is, no one can take away your potential, your talent, or your ability to improve. No matter how much someone hurt you, they cannot stop you from becoming the best version of yourself. Every time you wake up and choose discipline over comfort, progress over stagnation, and growth over resentment, you reclaim your power. You are no longer reacting to life, you are creating it. One of the most satisfying aspects of success is that it naturally changes how people see you, including those who doubted you. There is no need to send messages or try to prove anything directly. When you succeed, people notice. The world notices. And if your ex happens to see it, that is just a side effect. By the time they realize what they lost, you will have moved so far ahead that their opinion no longer matters. The person they once knew is gone, replaced by someone stronger, wiser, and more driven. Success is also about building a life that excites you, independent of anyone else. It is about pursuing your dreams, mastering new skills, and achieving things you once thought were impossible. When you become deeply engaged in your own progress, the past loses its grip on you. You no longer need to look back because everything you want is ahead of you. The best part: you are not just proving something to others, you are proving it to yourself. Success is the kind of revenge that requires no explanation, no justification, and no effort to be seen. It speaks for itself. It shows that you have turned pain into power, loss into opportunity, and heartbreak into a new beginning. It is not about making someone regret losing you. It's about making yourself so fulfilled that their absence no longer affects you. The moment you realize that your happiness and success are the only things that truly matter, you have already won. Success is not about proving anything to your ex, it is about proving everything to yourself. When you choose growth over bitterness, discipline over distraction, and ambition over regret, you reclaim your power. The past no longer defines you because you are too focused on building an incredible future. One day, those who doubted you may look back and realize what they lost, but by then, you will be too far ahead to care. The real victory is not in making someone else regret leaving, it is in becoming someone who no longer needs their validation. Success is your silent revenge, and your greatest reward is the life you create for yourself.